We're heading back to the supermarkets, and this beer by Brew By Numbers in this striking pink lettering. This is a Brew By Numbers 42, and it's simply a double dry hopped pale ale called Hazy, Soft and Juicy. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're heading to Sainsbury's and one of their new beers. This is a Brew By Numbers beer. They've been in supermarkets before. This is a number 42. The numbers are the most confusing thing ever because I think 42 usually means it's a double dry hop pale ale. So it doesn't really help. They change the colour, but they don't really give it any numbers or anything. So it's difficult to sort of determine what's what. And this is just said, this is a double dry hop pale ale, as I said. It just says hazy, soft and juicy. It's 5.5%. It just says naturally hazy and full-bodied double dry hop pale ale packed with vibrant new season American hops, unveiling flavours of ripe mango and zesty citrus fruit. How sort of generic can you have as a sort of description, really? Doesn't tell us the hops. So let's crack it open, get it in a glass, see what it's like. I mean, they make good beers, Brew By Numbers. I don't have anything from them that's been absolutely stunning. Yeah, we've seen them in Marks and Spencer's. They've been in Sainsbury's and Tesco's, different ones. Usually they have the hops on them. So I've poured this pretty badly. We've got it looks quite dark here, but in my view, it's a bright orange coloured beer. 3 odd fingers of head, quite compact. Yeah, typical sort of hazy pale ale. Let's see what the aroma's like. Yeah, really fresh sort of orange, satsumas, peaches, mango. Yeah, it smells like a juicy pale ale, which we've had lots of before, you know, and this is, you know, a hazy. See what it's like, shall we? Cheers, everyone. It's not bad. It's quite sessionable. It's juicy. It's medium, medium to light in terms of its body. There's a little bit of carbonation there, but the big thing is that it's really, really juicy. Real sweet oranges. It's got a real sweet sort of twang to it. I'm sure it's probably got something like Amarillo because the orange is quite sort of quite big, and Amarillo hops generally have that sort of orangeness. But it's bright, it's light. It's as good as, say, the I always sort of skip to it, hence the name, Hop, Skip and Juice, a Vocation pale ale that you can get in Tesco's. It's a really fruity, juicy sort of beer, and this is very, very similar to it. I mean, it's drinkable. There's no real bitterness. It's fruity. What more else can I say, really? It's just a really pleasant pale ale. It doesn't do anything, you know, exciting or interesting. It's a little bit thin, a little bit carbonation is prickly. Sometimes you want that in a pale ale. It's a sort of beer that's a much fruitier version of a sort of, and it's a very summery sort of drink. Not really the sort of drink you want to be drinking at the beginning of February, but I like it because it's juicy and fruity. It doesn't blow the mind. It doesn't do anything interesting. It hasn't got interesting flavours. It's very orangey. It's mango, other sort of lemon, general lemon and lime citrus. There's not really anything on the back end. There's a little bit of pininess, but not really much. Orange and mango, maybe passion fruit, leading the way. A very drinkable beer. Not bad, but it's a standard sort of supermarket fare. I think I've said enough. There's not much more I can say about this beer, but let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for the Brew By Numbers 42 double dry hop pale ales. Don't know what hops are in it. All we know it's a juicy, fruity, hazy beer, 5.5%. It's a pretty standard double dry hop pale ale. Doesn't mean it's not good though. It's a nice drink. But let's go through the scores. Aroma. Well, the aroma actually is quite good. It's big hits of orange, sweet orange, mango, passion fruit. It's got a real sort of sweet, juicy aroma. It smells pretty good. I'm going to get 14 for aroma. Appearance, yeah, I mean, it looks quite good as well. We've got, you know, the head sort of there. It's a bit frothy now. It looks a bit, it's a little bit brighter in the flesh than it is on the screen there. It's got a slightly sort of off, just a sort of darker orange, but it's definitely lighter, very juicy looking orange colour. Looks pretty good, I'd say. 8 for a pale ale, nice and hazy, 8 out of 10. Flavour wise, it's a juicy, fruity, double dry hop pale ale. The body's light. There's nothing different about it. It's not overly carbonated. It's quite well carbonated for a pale ale, I think. It's got a real juicy, sweet orange as a sort of distinct flavour. There's a bit of mango, a bit of passion fruit, but for me, it's very, very orangey flavoured. But that's not a bad thing. It doesn't go into the sort of bitter orange or orange rind. It's juicy orange flavours, and I think it's pretty good. It just doesn't do anything that different. So I'm giving it a 32 for flavour. Value for money. It's an interesting one, this, because £3.50. I think if it was £3 or a bit less, it would score higher. But I think it's at £3.50. You know, it's the sort of standard. Sainsbury seem to have £3.50 where it's a pale ale or IPA. When you think you can compare this with some of the IPAs you can get in Sainsbury's, I don't think it's as good. I think it should be 50p less or even less than that. So I'm knocking it down a bit. But, you know, again, I've had pale ales that are not quite as good as this that I've paid £4 for. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. But for me, for a supermarket beer, I think it's a little bit too much, really. So I'm giving it 7 for value. And my overall experience, well, if you're sitting in the summer, in your garden in the summertime, you want something juicy, fruity, you know, sessionable, something you can drink, you know, a few cans off and not sort of feel that the flavour's overpowering. You need something different. It's a very quaffable sort of drink. So on that basis, it's pretty good. On a cold, wet February evening, it doesn't quite go. It needs a little bit more body. It needs a little bit more flavour to it, really, but it's certainly got a juicy flavours. I mean, and to be honest, it's comparable with the Vocations Hop, Skip and Juice and a lot of other sort of supermarket pale ales. You know, to me, it's probably better than things like Northern Monk's Faith, for example. It's got a little bit more juicy fruits in there for me. So I'm going to get 14 for overall experience. Tighten those scores up, and we get, you know, not unexpectedly, a 75. Slap bang in the middle of a recommended score. I think it's a good beer, but, you know, it's not the sort of beer that I'm going to rush out and buy again because it doesn't do anything that different. So, Brew By Numbers, 42. I understand that they're called Brew By Numbers and they like numbers, but, you know, really they should call every one of their beers a different number so we can actually recognise them, because we've had 42s before, not with this bright pink colour, but, you know, it's difficult to sort of realise ones that, you know, you've had or you haven't had before. But it's not bad beer, and it's available in Sainsbury's for £3.50. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. This is the first one of the many. We got a few new Sainsbury's on. We did the Mad Squirrel one. We got obviously this one, and I've also got a maple syrup pale ale, which sounds pretty disgusting, but, you know, I'm gonna buy it, review it, and, you know, if it is bad, then you don't need to buy it because I have already. So anyway, that will be coming up probably next video that I do. And until the next one, you know what you got to do. Keep on rocking and like and subscribe.